Hello and welcome to today's special feature. Really excited to bring on a guest today. We've actually been working together for years now, actually, a small spurt back in 2021, and then again, and now at 2024. And Miss Sofia here is an Olympian. She's a Mexican kayaker. She's an elite pro. And I'm really happy to have had the pleasure of coaching her in her nutrition and helping her understand how to fuel her body to perform at a high level, not once, but twice, and many other World Cups and everything. So, to kick this off, Sophia, share a little bit about who you are and what you've been up to the last couple of years.
I'm a kayaker from Mexico. This was my second Olympics in Paris. It was such a an amazing experience. I spent a lot of time in a kayak throughout my life and it's paid off. I race internationally every year. I represent Mexico and I do World Cups, World Champs, and I did the Olympics twice. So hopefully training for LA.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, that's coming in 4 years and stuff. So, with the consistency that you show up, and you've got a coach for your training, and obviously we've worked together a couple times throughout that experience as well. And you are like, anytime we'd talk, we would be using WhatsApp to talk because who knew what city or country you were even in and stuff. So, tell everyone, what is a typical day in the life of you, especially like on the training side?
Yeah, well, normally I train from 2 to 3 times a day. So normally I wake up, um, have some food, then I do my first training for a couple hours, then again have some food and rest, and I do another training for a couple hours. Normally the first two sessions are on the water, and then the third session is either on the gym or running or something like that.
Right. And so you're moving a lot more than
Yeah.
most of anyone that I'm usually working out with. Like I'll occasionally get marathoners, or I have a gentleman right now he's training for a 24-hour mountain bike race. I'll get Iron men or Iron women in a sense as well that are going to do Ironman triathlons and stuff. But your level of conditioning is obviously elite level. So, what are some of the things that like drive you? Why do you love doing kayaking, and what keeps you getting in the boat and getting wet and living water? You should have been a duck,
Yeah.
and you must have been a duck or a fish in another life, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it's become my passion, the way my lifestyle sort of thing. It's kind of what I do every day and what wakes me up and what I dream when I go to bed. It's just I love the adrenaline. I love being out in nature. I love being able to take care of the rivers, give back a little bit, preserve them, and it's just such a fun sport that it's just like it's the reason why I keep on going.
Yes, I certainly tuned into kayaking during Paris, and there was it was beyond thrilling. I obviously saw pictures that you shared with me as well of you getting dropped into the river and then going through the obstacles and such, and so what does it mean to be an Olympian? Like that's something that's I'm 41 now, so my time is long gone to even fathom what that would look like.
Yeah, well, I think it means I don't know, for me it's paid off the work I've done. It was a dream of mine, so being an Olympian kind of just I think brings out all these like values that I try to live my life with and a little bit of discipline and perseverance and resilience, and it kind of just brings out these values, and obviously I'm very proud and happy to be an Olympian.
Right. It's just wild on my end again, as I've kind of shared a couple times now. So what brought you to want a nutritionist or like a health coach or like help manage some of the other aspects? Obviously, I wasn't programming your exercise because you have your coach to that, but you needed some help with nutrition. So what were some of the, especially early on, like why did you want it? And then you did come back for the second one, so what were some of the reasons why getting some support in this area was important to you?
Yeah, well, I just think nutrition is such a big part of being an athlete, and to be in a elite sport, you need to take care of all the little details, and nutrition is a really big side. So I think just getting help and getting people to guide me through that, like you've been guiding me, it's been really nice because it's um helped me not have to put my mind and soul there, if not just like work with you, have your guidance, and it's just made it like so much easier, and it's made a big difference in my career.
Right, right. It certainly being able to consistently show up to that workout and movement that you have to do every day, that is wearing to the body. And if you're not dialed in with nutrition, then it ends up being a big challenge. So, some of the easy systems that I always tell anyone, doesn't matter what your caliber of like an athlete or just like an everyday person, we need to eat some protein, some vegetables, some fruits, some starchy carbs, some healthy fats. We're trying to find some balance. And for you, one of the big things was certainly fitting into your kayak was important for like a body mass, right? We didn't want, you couldn't get too big or anything. You wouldn't fit in your boat. You can't be too heavy because you have to paddle that down the river, and the lighter the better, but we want that power output as well. And the other complexity is we literally, I would like start off our calls of where are you at today? What city? What's going on? So, what were some of the things that you learned throughout our time together? Some of the strategies of putting food together, and then we'll talk about eating out next.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge to be traveling 24/7 when it comes to nutrition. So I think this strategist is really good the way you make it kind of quite easy. Like with the apps, it becomes easier, like with how to choose the food, how to just like kind of go simple. And I think for me, that was the biggest strategy, and that's helped me a bunch.
Right. It with being in different places, having different food options available was very challenging. You weren't making much of your food most of the time. And even if you were in a place like in a home, other people were still wanting to cook for you, right? Because they hadn't seen you in a while. So like mom,
Yeah.
family, and they're like, hey, let's celebrate that she's even here for a little bit food. So we have to practice better portions and better meal design, picking proteins and eating the appropriate amount of carbs for your high level of exercise and demand that you place on your body. So
Yeah.
you also have to eat out a lot. I remember some of the most recent trips to you were over in like France, and we couldn't find much more than a croissant for breakfast, or
Yeah.
like in London, we kept running into the pub that was next door that you're like, I can't find anything green here. Like, so what are some of the challenges that you experience on while you're on the road, and how you've been able to navigate them to keep your performance level up?
Yeah, well, that's definitely really, really hard because eating out once or twice is fun, but eating out every day becomes not that fun. So I think just learning what to choose, and also learning that restaurants are most of the time happy to do a specific meal for you if it's quite simple, just like chicken with vegetables. It's normally something that they're happy to do. Just also sometimes getting the sides, making your own meal a little bit. I think it's worked for me, like choosing various different things and making a better meal, and just trying to take care of all the yeah, the little details, like trying to buy something maybe at the supermarket to complement with. um so I think that's been kind of important.
I remember you like send like different labels from different countries, and they were like, what does this mean? Like, what are the
Yeah, totally.
or
I think what's so great as well by working with you is that you're kind of held accountable, and you can help change and make decisions quite fast. So if I send you a photo, we can talk about it, and it can be a strategy for the next meal. It doesn't have to wait a long time, and I think that's really a game changer.
Right, definitely. And it didn't matter what country or even time zone, right? It was just like I'm the one that you for all my clients, I'm the one that usually manipulates around everyone else's time zone, but I never really move. So I'm like, I'll be in EST. What time zone are you? How many hours is it? And but either way, we were so able to communicate quickly through we used WhatsApp because it was easy and free, right? We didn't have to pay making calls internationally or anything, which was helpful because no matter what, you're still on a limited budget with what you're being
Definitely.
supplied by because you're an athlete and you're focused on that, and so you have sponsorships and different things with your federation and such, and so yeah.
For
Now,
sure.
moving forward, obviously, my goal is always to get you to as many calories as you can because you're doing so much work and certainly having adequate amounts of protein, but more importantly, keeping those carbohydrates levels high around the workouts for sure. And so if you're having those three workouts, we need to keep those levels high. So this is me just like talking to you to remind you of like eat food, fuel your body for performance, and you'll thrive. So I'm so proud of you. I just am thrilled that we've had the opportunity to work together. Really, thank you so much for all your time, your energy, your determination, and sharing that with me. I loved getting images of you and at the Olympics and just getting videos of you and your training and everything. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate you taking some time out to just talk with me and share some of the experiences we had and with everyone else here. So if you weren't, say, a super duper athlete that you are, but regardless, what would you tell someone if they were watching this and they were like, hey, she's inspirational, but I see her point, like getting some help is important. And certainly you've had a lot of help through mentors and coaches along the way. What would you tell someone if they're just watching this and like they're kind of thinking, is this for me or not, or getting some help or what? What would you say?
Yeah, I think getting help is always a good idea. It doesn't matter how much you know on the subject, just having someone to guide you, to help you, to hold you accountable, to tell you tricks that you might not know. It just really helps. So I think if you're on the fence, it's better to try and take the help because I think it also helps you go a little bit out of your comfort zone. It doesn't matter if you're an elite athlete or not, you want to change something in your life, it's always good to get help, and it's always good to learn more about it. And I think it's important that you take those risks, and I think that stepping into just being in better health is something super important. So I think Brian is always ready to help. It doesn't matter what time you write him or anything. So I think it's a good way of taking care of your body and your mental health, and just like being, as I said before, taken care of.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, a lot of our conversations were around performance and fueling that.
Totally.
But we had a lot of other conversations about just you as a person and your idea of food and energy and body and the mental side of this as well. So we really covered a lot in our time together. So obviously, I am rooting. I'm forever a Sophia fan, right? And so I'll always be rooting for you, and you always can drop in your performance and how you do in different places and stuff. And if we can get to LA, I'd be more than happy to take you on board again.
Definitely. I'm
Uh,
sure we will. So thank you
yeah,
so much for your help. It's been really good to work with you, and I'm looking forward to continue to do so.
yes, excellent. Well, have a wonderful rest of your night. What country are you in?
I'm in Mexico finally.
So
So very
finally,
happy to be home.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the last 2 weeks, I think we talked briefly earlier this week, but you had what, two World Cups or something over in like Italy and stuff?
Yeah, I did have two World Cups in the period of 2 weeks. Then I went to, but it was crazy month. Like, just I think I went to so many countries and so many different places. I took so many flights, drove a lot. So I'm happy to be home and taking care of my body a little bit more and just having some rest time.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time here. And thanks to anyone who's watched this. And if you're looking for help, I'm pretty easy to reach. It's just brianparano.com. I work with a lot of different people, of course, elite athletes, pleasure here, but also everyday people that are busy, have a lot going on. They just don't know what to do, whether it's weight loss or beyond digestion, chronic illness. I've worked with a lot over the last 20 years. So I appreciate you. Thanks so much. Thanks everyone for watching and have a great night.